Before completing my trailer, website, and poster, I had to get initial, interim, and final feedback for all three products. Of course, before doing this, I had to get some feedback on from my target audience. And for that, I had to then research my target audience to find out who my target audience was. The first type of research I carried out was my target audience. This was because I need to find out exactly who I was targeting and exactly what they wanted. Therefore, once I know what they wanted, I was able to then implement their ideas and their needs into the poster, the trailer, and the website to make it successful for my audience. The first type of research I had to carry out was target audience research. I was able to do this via going onto IMBD and searching up movies that were similar to mine and looking at their database profiles. As you can see, I was able to see what type of gender and age range likes the film the most. From this, I was able to correlate the details and put them together to try and figure out who my target audience was. I was able to figure out that from the majority of the films that I had researched, that my target audience was females under the age of 18. This was useful for me because then I could also go to my target audience and actually find out if they thought my idea was good. However, I couldn't just get my target audience research from some statistics. I had to actually go out in the field and interview different genders and different age ranges of people. So that is what I did. Because of the information that I gathered on IMBD, I had already learned what my target audience was. However, I needed to go out into the field and actually do some primary research for myself. From the research that I acquired, I learned that women who were 45, who were over the age of 30, didn't like horror movies, and also males who were under the age of 18 did not like horror movies, which supported the information that I learnt on IMBD. After learning that my target audience was females under the age of 18, I went to my local college to interview some females who were under the age of 18 about my idea. I presented them my idea and asked them a series of questions and got their feedback. From the information I learnt, I was then going to present the ideas to the group of any changes that we needed to make. Here is what they said.
I like the idea because it's very unique. It's not done, and it's like it hasn't been explored, and so I think you can go a lot of ways about it.
What don't you like about the idea?
You would need to structure it a bit more, and you would need to have like more like defined points, and it can, like I said, it can go anywhere as there's no structure to it. So, yeah.
From the plot, would you go and see this in a cinema?
Damn, yeah.
After presenting our initial idea to our target audience, it was clear that they really liked our idea and they really liked the way that the film was going and what it was about. However, there were some changes that needed to be made. So, what I learned was that they thought that the structure needed to be more clearer. So, in that sense, I went to our group and we made sure that we didn't have to rely on intertitles throughout the trailer to tell the story. We wanted our audience to be able to tell the story without the help of narration. Therefore, we made sure that every shot that we did and that we edited together came together to tell a story that was easily able to be broken down without the need for extra help. So, in that sense, we were appealing to the needs of our target audience, which was to make sure there was a clear structure. Going on to another point where someone said there should be a sort of plot twist. We wanted to then make sure that in our trailer, it wasn't totally revealed, but it was hinted at that there was a different element and a kind of a plot twist to the story, where you saw some images of the housemate ripping down the pictures on the wall. We wanted to kind of, there's a sense of betrayal within the film.
What do you like about our trailer?
I really like the plot and the idea in which you have used. It's very unique and I haven't seen nothing like this before. Hence, this really makes me want to see the finished product altogether. I also like the idea how you've used the contrast of lighting, how you've used the light scenes at the beginning and then juxtaposed it to the dark scenes when the candle comes into place. And I also really like the facial expressions used. I think this really establishes what is going on.
We had to get some interim feedback during the process of our trailer to make sure that we were on the right track. From our interim feedback, we learned that some people thought that we had too many fade to blacks and they thought that the screen was over exaggerated. However, we did not feel that this was the case and therefore did not remove the scream or the fade to black, as we thought that they added to the effect of the story we're trying to portray.
I like the speed of it, the intensity. I like a lot of the visuals. I like it didn't take too long on one scene, and also like the different sort of.
We carried out some final trailer feedback to make sure we set up what we intended to do. We learned that some of the improvements that could have been made was that the transition between the two tracks used within the trailer could have been smoother, and some of the scenes were too short. They needed to be longer to establish what was exactly going on in the scene. Therefore, this goes against what we intended to do because we wanted our audience to be able to figure out what was going on every step of the way without additional help such as intertitles. Therefore, if we were to do it again, those are the improvements that would be made. Before we went on to constructing our poster, I had to find out some initial feedback on some of the ideas that I had proposed. I proposed some sketches and I asked some people what they thought about my proposed ideas and what can be improved. I learned that they found poster 1 to be the better of the two, so therefore I felt that when constructing our poster we should have the pentagram in the center, as a lot of them said that it draws attention to the pentagram and it really portrays the image that we're trying to portray of the satanic ritual cults.
Very mysterious and it reminds me of like an exorcism and it looks, I really would like to watch the movie.
I think the colour scheme works really well. I like the idea that the top bit here is black and you've got the idea of the star focused in the middle.
From our final poster research feedback, we've learned that our audience liked the pentagram that was in the middle and they liked how we had concentrated on it, and they also thought that it portrayed the connotations that we wanted people to associate with it. However, they did say that we could improve on the fact that we should have developed the social networking icons to suit the colour scheme of our website, and they also said that we could have used some more colours on the poster to just make it a bit more scarier and enhance the fear, because the colour schemes that we used was a little bit dull and we could have used different colour schemes to portray that.
I like the way you've kept it consistent with the poster and trailer. You've got the same colour scheme, which is really good because it shows the consistency. I like the way that you've imported the title, which is straight from the poster, straight onto the website, which has worked really well. Also, you've kept the menu bar really consistent.
From the audience feedback for our website, I learned that our target audience thought we were very consistent and therefore could link all our products together. We learnt that there are a couple of aspects we could improve on. Firstly, we could have improved on our photoshopping skills with the stars we originally placed on our website. Following this feedback, we decided to remove them. Secondly, we could have added a lot more to our website to make it more exciting, as it could come across as dull. Also, the colour red we used was a bit too dark against the black. Therefore, if we were to do it again, these were the improvements that would be made. Advantages and disadvantages to getting audience feedback. The advantages are that if you interview your target audience, you know if you're on the right track, you know if you're doing what you intended to do from the information that they told you, what they liked and what they didn't like, and also you know that if your product will be successful. Disadvantages of audience feedback is that some information is irrelevant. You have to make sure that you include the relevant information from the irrelevant information. For example, certain information that we were told that needed to be improved, we didn't feel that it needed to be improved because we felt that if it was taken out, for example, of our trailer, that the overall message that we were trying to portray would be distorted. However, some information that we did gain, we did take, for example, to get rid of the stars that were on the website because they weren't photoshopped very well. So it's a mixture of relevant information and irrelevant information, and sometimes it's hard to differentiate between the relevant information between the irrelevant information. Getting positive feedback is very good for us. It was good for us because it helped us to know that we were doing what we intended to do. Also, it helped us to know that our product was successful and that we had successfully portrayed the codes of conventions and we had successfully portrayed our message that we wanted to give out. Getting negative feedback was even better because this helped us to find out what we needed to improve on to make sure that our products were successful to our target audience. Also, it helped us to know that if we weren't successfully accessing our target audience via our trailer, our poster, or our website, if any of these three products weren't appealing to our target audience, then we would not be successfully creating these three media products.